my brain fractured because they are the same word and so completely different. Um, my brain was uh, it started. Okay, slow down. Uh, right now, there is a catalog of what is the same and what is different running in one section of my brain between these two words. And each one of those has like an explosion behind it of the different directions that it could go in that way. I think we're coming to something. It's getting louder and brighter. Okay, I'm ready. Okay. I I have so much BS on this topic, right? In general, around what have we predetermined? How much of this is like stuff we agreed to in advance of even coming onto this into this suit onto this planet? Because I believe that we agree to a lot of the conditions in advance of this. I also believe that time is not linear and that it is just this swirl, and so everything exists at all times, all always. And so we have a lot of agency in that when we are not stuck in this meat suit of it, and when we are stuck in this meat suit, we look at, is this my destiny or is this my fate? And it's weird that destiny is positive and fate is negative in my head. And that is why my brain has such a hard time even coming up with that sentence.
Fantastic. Welcome, y'all. We are so excited to have you joining us today. This is Neurospicy Dialogues. I am your host, Kimberly.
And I'm Cara Jean.
And today I actually came up with two words because these words came to me kind of together. And so there's a hyphen between them. So it really can go in either direction because, yes, it's destiny / fate. So it is hopefully going to be an interesting ride. I know it will be for us. I certainly hope it will be for y'all as we explore these two ideas, because I do see them as sisters in that they are so complementary, but they are also a little antagonistic,
Mm-hmm.
just
Yeah.
like sisters. And they are not the same. They're not twins.
No.
At all. Destiny and fate. And
Yeah.
or, but also yet
And with stuff.
fate. Mm-hmm.
The dash. I'm stuck on. Oh, my message just be extra spicy today. I'm stuck on the dash. Is that like I have words for destiny, and she does. She definitely gets sort of like the cute destiny. Mhm. Uh, and like is like the light version of the shadow of fate, right? Fate, the fates, if you want to think of the fates, like they cut the string. They're the one who determines when you are done in the weaving of life. And and that has a darker connotation. So it's sort of the fate of it. And that's the dash between them. Like I'm stuck there. It's like I'm Alice stuck in. I'm not even. I didn't even make it through the looking glass. I am in the middle of the looking glass, looking at destiny and looking at fate, being like, but where am I right now? I don't know that I have great words. My brain is doing that thing where the words don't come out right.
Mm-hmm. Got a little log jam of words happening. Gotcha. For me, there's a balance which I don't think of either as positive or negative.
Sure.
I I studied. I was a classical studies major for a while in college. It was one of the many majors that I experimented with during my time there. So I studied ancient Greek and Latin, and also, you know, studying the plays and the writings of the time. And uh I first off, I don't think it's possible for us to know what happened before our first conscious thing of knowing. And I don't think it's possible for us to know what happens after our final, at this level, consciousness of knowing, to anticipate it or to reflect back on it. So it is whatever you want it to be, is the truth, because it's just as possible as anything else. So I love that you have this idea of having an agreement, which goes to consent, like you have consented to the things that are happening. And I think that's beautiful. Absolutely love that. Um, so I see that definitely as something that could possibly have happened. Uh, I I feel like our consciousness here, like we are so limited in our understanding of things because it's all just within this level. And that's why
Mm,
I feel like whatever was before this and whatever comes after this is so much more and out. It's like trying to understand infinity. It's just so outside of our understanding because we don't
mm,
have the words for it or the context or the experience to really be able to wrap up what it is.
yeah.
Um, oh, what the movie Contact with Jodie Foster,
Yeah.
where when she goes and she says they should have sent a poet
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
because
We
as a
need more words.
scientist, yeah, she's like she
Yeah.
doesn't have the words to describe the things that she is seeing. And so
Yes.
I feel like it's kind of like that there is so much more
Hmm.
on either side. So as far as determining what and agreeing to and there being destiny or fate to it, I don't know. I like to feel like I have agency
Hmm.
over the things that happen, but I also know that things happen that you didn't. Like you're driving along, you never gave that car permission to hit you.
Right. 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 Right.
There are things that will happen in life that don't make sense. But I think for our brains to understand and be okay with it, we have to make sense of it.
Yes.
So that's where I think we came up with terms like destiny and fate, was to make the sucky things more bearable
Yes.
and to um, feel worthy of the good things.
Yeah.
But the
Yes.
truth is, and again, this is just me and the way I look at it, they're all just things that
Yeah.
happen
Right.
to
Yes.
us, for us, around us, pick your preposition.
Yeah.
Um, but I love the idea of it. And I love
Yeah.
what it means if there is destiny and if there is fate. I love the idea. I just think there's so much fun to play with those ideas.
Yes.
And for just a moment to imagine that, yeah, that is real. That is
Hmm.
what is guiding and cuts the string when it chooses. And uh, I like the idea also being connected to the historical, like the story of it.
Yeah.
It connects me to those ancient Greeks
Hmm.
for a moment to think about what they believed. And what
Yeah.
if I believed that for just a minute too?
Yeah. What would that do?
Yeah, it connects
I
me to
believe
them.
belief is powerful. That was a lot of belief in one sentence, but I do like the four agreements. Maybe the way that it was has always landed best for me is how they talk about the power of belief and humans. And when you believe in something and pour your energy and presence to it, It can become literally all consuming. It can become a destiny or your fate to go into that place because you believed it to be true and you're right. Like consistently we find that true, right? If you believe you cannot do something, you are correct. And the minute you decide that you can, you are also correct. And that power is yours at any time. Doesn't mean we always have access to that power. Like I will name that some days I feel like I can just make that decision. Other days I logically know I could make that decision, but no, also I cannot. No, no, no. And since I cannot, I am right. Yeah. The consent theory, that has been around since I was a kid. Like that was one of the ways it was presented to us as children as a way of understanding the world, is that you made agreements to experience life when you came here. And some of those would be really, really beneficial, uplifting, positive experiences. And many of them will be the other experiences because it gives such a dynamic coloring to our lives that both of those things happen. Uh, I did name fate and destinies like good or bad. I don't really, but I do see like a lighter side or and a darker side. I don't think shadows are bad, but it is darker. It is it's a little shady in that side. I get that.
Mhm.
It did help immensely. I don't know that we one at a time. I don't know that we used fate and destiny after my brother unalived himself. Like that language, I don't think that we used, but it was very much like partially it was his choice. And on some level, because we respect him and his choices, we will respect that. And then because we had this tied to consent, like previously, then it gave me something to argue with the universe about, right? Like I may have consented to this before I came here, but I now know what this means, and I would like to remove my consent. And it gave me something to rage about, which in grief, for me, rage is a very active thing, and grief itself is so like you just get smaller and the world gets heavier and you don't really want to move. So a little bit of anger gets me up out of my chair, makes me feel like I can do it again.
Mhm. The idea of like the pre-consent, what I like about it is that because I do think like whatever's on the other sides of it, it is pure logic. Like emotions, I think that's only part of this level.
It makes sense.
Um, and it's tied to because they're all tied to the like the way this brain works.
The meat suit experience, yeah.
Yeah. And so outside of that, when you are outside of this brain's hormones and all the rest of it that's happening, then you don't have that influence on it. But coming from that place of logic, then this is like an experiment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's what you're okay. So this time through, I'm gonna try what if we have, and you just pick from the menu, and there's I want these things to happen, and let's see what that means.
Yeah. Go experience these things.
Yes. And then
Yeah.
we come in and we have that experience, and uh, uh, then we take that knowledge to that next place as we potentially circle around and then have another experience. But the idea of like reincarnation, I've always found that to be really limited because it assumes that this is the only place to be. And there
Mm-hmm.
are so many planets and there are so many other life energies that exist in this plane of existence, but we just don't know them.
Right.
That I have to believe that if the reincarnation is the thing, if the experiment and we want to experiment, then we're going to experiment on other planets as
Yes.
other life forms in other ways.
Mm-hmm.
So again, even that whole idea of reincarnation, that belief is based on the knowledge and understanding of what it means to be alive on this one
Here.
planet
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
But if that is a truth, then
Yeah, yeah,
let's
yeah, yeah.
let's bloom that onion and open it up
Yeah.
and see where else you can go.
Yeah. That
Because that's not as much fun for everything to happen just here.
that has whether it is you want to believe in aliens or just the mathematical probability that with the sheer amount of stars and planets that our limited capacity has allowed us to be aware of, mathematically speaking, we cannot be the only life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So however you want to look at it, I've always, I'm gonna go real woo woo. Are you up for that?
Sure, bring it on.
So when I was little, I used to talk about my other lives. And it was really hard for other people to, it wasn't until I was in my teens and was spending more time with indigenous cultures and oracles and soothsayers and shamans and things of like of that nature. Before people were like, you're not the only one who has said things like this. Prior to that, people like, so you're crazy. Because most of my, when I would talk about past lives, they did not follow the linear human progression. Many of my spaces were, or my memories of what was, were aquatic communities or air. Like there's one where I'm pretty sure, like the language I would use here is like air sprite, but you kind of danced with the colors and the temperatures in an air form, almost like all of our gas giants, if there was going to be life on there that we just simply couldn't understand and they would just be in gas form, it was like I was that, but also I was a bot anyway. And the experiences were so vastly different as far as how it impacted that version of a meat suit, because some of them were not meat suits. So for me, that has with the history, with being taught a way of looking at the universe is to believe that you kind of pre-committed and you're coming here to experience. Uh, it was gifted to me in some indigenous language around my family and our Slavic background, as well as the Christian and Catholic POV, where it's like you are part of the divine coming to experience what the divine has created. And so that in hindsight, from where I am now, I can see it could just be an imagining of a child from those stories, but they were so visceral. I mean, to date, I can pull up memories of these things, and and it does make me going back to the fate and destiny. It does. It's almost like maybe this is because we were talking legal stuff before we got in here, which I will not be bringing up because I do not need to bring rage into it. And it's almost like they're the contract holders. This is where my brain is going with this now. Like Destiny is the one that helps you go, like she's your customer relations manager. She's gonna come and be like, so how was the last life, girl? Tell me everything. Oh my gosh, no way. Oh, okay, tell me how that was that hard. Like, where did you feel it, and what was it like? Because I would like to learn from your experience. Okay, are you ready to go back again? No, you need a break. Cool, cool, understand. Oh no, you are cool. Okay, let's get out the menu. Based on what you just did, what do you think you want to like? Where do we want to go this time? And she plans your destiny with you, and
Like
then
a
you jump
travel
in there.
agent.
Yes, yes. And that contract gets sent up to whoever that goes to. And the fates now hold that contract and they know what the term limits are, right? They also inevitably in contracts there are escape clauses, right? Or if you like invalidate the contract, then it's terminated. So they know all of those and that's what they're watching for. No, she's good. Nope, that one's passed. Yeah. No. Oh, okay. No, she good. And there's the term. Okay. That is now where my brain just went. That is now how those will live in my brain from this moment forward. Thank you for that. Destiny the travel agent, and the fates are the worst.
I find it so interesting that you have turned it into a bureaucracy.
Yeah, that could be the legal rage from earlier.
It could be. It very well could be. um, because I am not a fan of the idea of someone watching or keeping tabs. Like you and I have had that conversation before. So the idea that there is some, and it's it's not about accountability, it's about the nosiness. Like I just don't like people in my business.
Sure.
Now, things I share here, I am inviting y'all into. But because I have had some negative experiences in the past, it makes me very loath to the idea of someone forcing, again, it goes back to consent, their their presence, their just saying that something that is private suddenly is now, they weren't invited into that and suddenly they're there. Not cool. Not cool. And so if that were part of the agreement going into it, I don't think I want that in any future agreements. I would be okay with them maybe checking in like once a month to see how things are going. But your story of them like micro observing, not micromanaging, but micro observing.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm like, no.
That's legit.
Maybe that's something I'm experimenting with this time. Who knows?
Right. And interestingly enough, I have always felt like, oh, this is a fun way to go. I've always felt like I've been being observed all of the time. So maybe that's just a part of it. Is like maybe that's just the paranoia inside me, which is legitimate. That's fair. I remember the first time I watched the Truman Show, and I thought, I think we're all in one of those. Doesn't everybody feel like they're always being observed all of the time? Oh no. Oh, that's just part of the spice. Cool. But yeah, no, I've always sort of just assumed that my experience is not mine. That's weird to say out loud. I think I have believed that most of my life. I don't know that I've ever just named it that clearly. I just sort of always, ooh, maybe the reason that I do the coaching, maybe this is part of why I create content and do things like podcasts. I just sort of assume that my experience on this could be a trauma thing. We'll just name that too. And that my job on this earth or my experience is to help inform other experiences. And whether it is because I think that I am like a drop in the ocean. So when you come here, you're the drop. But then when you go back, you're part of the whole ocean. In that case, then it's not just me, it's just the other me's. Right. And so my experience is their experience, but it's my experience that we're sharing. That didn't make it any less confusing. Or if it's just that being a eldest daughter in the 90s in Redmond, Washington, and the constant level of observation and expectation that was that life is just built into my psyche. I don't know. I don't have that, but I do. I'm hearing myself say it. I really have always moved in this world as if I'm constantly being observed and that it's supposed to be that way. Huh. Weird. I love when I have these deep realizations with you. Thank you for existing. Have I mentioned how much I love your brain?
I would say for societally, women in our society, that is absolutely true almost across the board, because that is what society has taught us, is that we are always being observed and judged and found wanting.
Yes, that
Yes.
feels accurate to my experience.
My pushback to what you said is that you are required to be okay with that.
Fair.
And that's the part that I brush up against, like, societally, that we
Yeah.
are. I think that is something that society has told us, that we are supposed to be okay with that, and I have
Yes.
not ever been okay with that. When I was in high school, I don't know that I've ever shared this story with you before. Maybe. When I was in high school, um the we were in, so it was after my mom and stepfather married. And so we were in a house, and our next door neighbor, one day my mom came to me and said that he had been watching me through my bedroom window, and that I should keep the blinds closed. And that I just needed to be more mindful about what I was doing in the room. And it was only years later, thinking back on that moment, I was like, okay, there was really nothing right with that. The fact that um, that he was not prosecuted
Yeah.
for doing that, that the problem was that I was responsible for not making him do that. Not cool.
Mhm.
um but that's an example of, no, we, and the fact that societally, like, it was okay. And I think what happened was his wife caught him doing it. She said something to mom, and so rather than doing anything about him,
Uh-huh.
I had to adjust.
Right.
And the school, I went
Yes.
to the same school, first grade through 12th, and it was a very religious school. The girls always had to wear skirts. When we were in elementary school, suddenly they added a rule that we had to wear shorts under our skirts. And I think I was the cause of that, because on the playground, I didn't think about it. So I'm hanging upside down on the jungle gym and doing all the stuff that was fun to do because I'm playing outside, and apparently that was a problem. So so the expectation around the school was always that the girls were responsible for
Yes.
preventing the boys from having distractions.
Yes. Which I rage about. That's not okay.
Exactly. And but to me, that's part and parcel of the whole, you are being watched
Mm.
and you have to be okay with being watched. And I'm like,
Yes.
no, I don't. I'm not responsible for anybody's reactions but mine.
Yes.
All the other stuff that's happening, that's on them.
Yes. Valid. I, because I 110% agree. When I talk about being observed, I didn't mean other meat suits
Mm,
necessarily. Like,
okay.
yeah, like we're all in a Truman Show because life is observing us.
Okay.
I very much have an issue with other meat suits who are on the same plane, expecting my body to be at their discretion for all of the reasons that you just named. Oh, yeah. Uh, wish that we could go back to your mom on that day and just coach her to be like, look at that woman and go, thank you for letting me know that your husband is not safe for my child to be around. And then walking away and dropping that bomb. That is the appropriate response in a situation like that, in my BS.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I am not. I am. I do not like the surveillance or observation or alternate expectation of this meat suit experience where that is
Mm-hmm.
all a part of it. I do see how that absolutely could be impacting why I do, like, on a meta level, believe that we are being observed. Because, and I'm hearing it myself, right? Like, so that kind of trauma training mirrored with the work I have done with plants and the other than human kin. The intersection of those is being observed at all time and being not okay with it when it's people, but totally okay if it's a tree. I have bigger issues with other people than I do with literally anything else. But I don't know that I would have gotten that kind of clarity if you had not pushed back. So again, love your brain. Mhm.
Um,
Because agree, that's not acceptable. That's not okay. And we as a culture really need to figure out a way to that's not consent culture.
no.
I believe I have consented to a select group of non-humans.
I'm just trying to think of the idea of trees, uh, animals observing me, and that seems totally cool. And I think the reason is because there is no potential violence attached to it. And so there's no
Pick a bear or a
danger.
human. I pick a bear.
Yeah. So if I'm out in nature, I'm in their world, it feels totally normal for them to for those living things to have awareness of me,
Yes.
because in those spaces I am probably the potential danger for them, as we have seen historically, wildfires going on everywhere, all the rest of it. So yes, for them to
Yeah.
be aware makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense.
Yep.
Hopefully, and I have always felt welcomed when I've been out into nature, but I can totally see why it would be, oh, human, human. Let's keep an eye on them. Who's watching? Who's watching? Whose turn is it? Keep an eye on this human. Let's make sure we're safe.
Huh?
Yeah, I
Cougars.
think,
In
yeah.
the Pacific Northwest, the odds are really good that you have been observed by a cougar. The odds are also really good that you had no idea that was happening.
Mm-hmm.
That freaks me out knowing it. But it's a cool, fun fact. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yes, and I'm so okay with that. It is interesting that it when it becomes another human, I have questions about the engagement of your frontal cortex.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Destiny and
Being gone
fate.
all over with that. I, I don't know if you have to cut the dead air at the beginning. Oh, I don't even know if there was dead air as I was trying to stutter my way through processing what the heck was happening in my brain with that information. But we 100% fractaled out in so many fun ways. The,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. All right. So now we're going to shift
brain.
into, in a very inelegant way. So I have thoughts. This is what I have thoughts on, is fake it till you make it. So I have spent a lot of time thinking about that this week.
Mhm.
Uh, and I have never felt at ease in that expression, fake it till you make it, in part because it's about pretending, it's about lying to yourself, to others. That's the whole fake it idea to me. Because it's not imagining, it's not pretending, it's faking. It's like making an active deception. I'm not cool with that. So, but I do believe that what we were talking about today, which, like, if this whole existence is an experiment, so if we just change the language around it, it feels a little less manipulative, because that's what
Yeah.
that feels like it is to me. And so I would like to suggest an alternative, which is mine it till you find it.
Ooh. Okay.
So you
Okay.
explore it, you dig into it, you try things on. So you mine that experience until you find the one that fits you. Because if you're just faking it till you make it, it's as though you're going after somebody else's thing that they've told you should be your goal.
Mm-hmm.
But if you mine it, it gives you a chance to really figure out what it is that you are wanting to find. What is your destination? So if you mine it till you find it, then it will authentically be yours in a way that is not chasing somebody else's imposed goal on you. And it's not
Ooh.
deceiving yourself or others.
Oh, I like that. I like that particularly because I've always seen the fake it till you make it as the, I know performativeness gets a really stink face these days. I disagree. I think the performative nature of life is part of the practice, right? You perform how to try it. You perform tying your shoes until you know how to tie your shoes. And I think the way that you reframe this speaks to that, right? Like that the faking it is because often our imposter syndrome says you're not actually that person yet. So you fake like you're confident enough to be that person until you're like, oh shoot, I've been doing this for 2 decades. I guess I'm that person. Which done badly is very manipulative and absolutely so it's like lying to each other, which is not great. Uh, so the mine it, you said find it. My brain is now stuck on refine it. I think that's just because I like rewords though.
Mm-hmm.
But mine it, dig into it, churn it up, pull it out until you have something, until you find it. I love that. And I think I love that double. This is what just came because the mining is that inter. Ooh, now I'm really liking it. It's that inner work that delivers those external results. We all know that this is true, and yet boy, do we struggle with it. If you do not do the inner work, you will not get different external results. And so if you're doing the mining, then you find what that external thing is. Oh, I like that. Ah,
Excellent. Yay.
what an amazing episode of Neurospicy Dialogues. We have gone all over the place. I loved every second of it. I apologize for the weird dead airs and lots of us, and I'm so grateful for the brain blow ups that happened for me today that created those dead moments and the us that came through abundantly today.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you
But
so much.
with me, it is always an apology free zone.
Yes.
So,
I will retract that apology. And what I would like to say instead is thank you so much for your grace and understanding as you observed my brain exploding and all of the pausing and uhs that showed up because of that.
there we go. But it also gave them a chance because who knows? Folks that have joined us may have needed that moment to fractal as
The
well.
brain explodes.
Yeah.
It's been another episode of Neurospicy Dialogues. I'm Cara Jean.
I am Kimberly.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see y'all next week.